One of the common questions we get asked is, how do I know it's God? Like, what does God sound like? So what we have created is what we call My SALT Journal. SALT stands for serving and learning together. So think about serving and serving Jesus, serving with one another. There are so many things that we learn in this community. Whenever you put words to a paper, there's a science that goes with it that helps your cognitive brain remember, as well as helps with the disciplines required to move into action the things that you're journaling about or the things that you're learning. So I'm going to walk you through just a simple process of how to salt in your journal. Matthew 5:13 tells us that you are the salt of the earth. And if the salt loses its flavor, how will it be made salty again? It will be no good, just thrown and trampled underfoot. So how do we stay, as we say it, how do we stay salty? How do we keep adding flavor to the world around us? And how do we keep adding flavor to our relationship with Jesus Christ? So you're going to find in your SALT journal that there's a reading plan that will take you through the entire Bible in a year. And it's Old Testament and New Testament sometimes, but then you also will have some days that it's just the book of Psalms. So there's a creative way of going through the Bible that as you journal, you're going to be able to pinpoint certain things that God is specifically saying to you or specifically speaking to you. So we use the acrostic SALT as we're reading through the Bible plan. The S, whenever you come across a scripture, or maybe you sense God speaking to you something, you're going to write in that passage. So if you're journaling or if you're reading and then you're reading Ephesians chapter 6, verse 7, and that scripture pops out to you, you're going to write that down. And the S can stand for speak to me. It can stand for scripture. You personalize it. Whatever you feel God speaking to you, write that down. And after you do that, you're going to write your A, which could be application, it could be action, how you approach God. So we're using the acrostics just so that we can have some type of system and a way to remember. And when you write down whatever it would be, your action or your approach, that's going to be something that you can apply to your life. And when you write it down, you can always go back and see, wait a minute, this is what God spoke to me and this is how I'm going to put it into action. And as you do that, you're going to be able to develop a system to hear God's voice. And then the L can stand for learn. Like, what did I just learn? Or what am I learning? Or listen. I need to listen to what God is saying. This is how I need to listen. I need to put away things that distract me. I need to turn off work from my mind. Like, how am I listening to God? The T could stand for time with God, talking with God. It could be thoughts about God. So make it yours, personalize it. And when you write things in, what you also want to do is don't use a generalized statement like, we need to follow God because He's the best at life. I would say, I need to follow God. See, there's a difference. I need to follow God because He's the best at life versus we need to follow God. We need to follow God says it's generalized, everyone. But if I say I need to follow God, now it's personal to me. So your SALT journal becomes personal to you. And you might be thinking, I don't understand everything. I read the Bible, but I don't understand anything. Journal on anything you understand. Even if it's one thing, one tiny percent, journal on that. And then apply 100% of that one thing. Because that's what God is holding you accountable for, or that's what He's going to empower you in. That one tiny degree closer to God makes a big difference in the long run. So don't be dismayed that when you're reading that it's not clicking or you're not getting something. Listen, diamonds are not found on the surface. Sometimes you got to dig deep to get to those precious gems. So that's what SALT journaling will do. And I pray that if you need one of these, that you would come up to our resource center. You can purchase one there. Or if you go on Amazon.com, you can purchase one there too. It'll be under My SALT Journal. and it looks just like this. And I pray that as you do so, you and I will be able to learn and grow together as we seek God's face, as we seek His voice, and as we seek a relationship with Him. He's the best at life. Follow Him and stay salty. God bless.